So, this fanfiction was voted on as a poll over on Patreon, and this one kind of won by a lot, I should say, and would mean to get to it. And by a lot, I mean like 53% of the vote, while the rest were kind of left in the dust. I should really stop putting Hazbin Hotel as well as Ed Ed Netty. That'll make sense a little later on in these polls, because they get immediately just annihilate everything else. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys would like to be part of the polls for these videos, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier. That'll allow you access to the polls as well as the movie and episode reviews. I just did, as of this recording, a review of The Strangers Chapter 1. If you want to hear my pleasant thoughts, very heavy quotations, on the movie, just hit the link below, head on to my Patreon, hit the first tier. That'll allow you access to do so. Anywho, let's get started with the video. So yeah, this one is, as you can see, Hellsing versus Hazbin Hotel. This was, like I said, voted on by everyone over on Patreon. The closest that came to challenging it was Red Dead Redemption: Mars Attacks, which I was kind of hoping would win, but whatever. But let's get on with the story. So, the story begins with Iscariot, a group of Iscariot scientists, scientists and more like archaeologists, excuse me, out in the middle of a dig in far into Baghdad. And essentially, Iscariot has been digging around there for a while because they've been looking for something that has gone missing since the 1930s. That thing is the spear of Christ, is the spear of destiny, the spear that pierced the side of Christ. And essentially what they want to use with it is, well, Iscariot, and by extension the Catholic Church, want it back in their possession, so that way they can, better they can better hold their own, have their own weapon against the forces of evil, and also have something now that they can use against more importantly, they can use this against Alucard, and have something that can defeat Alucard, and by extension end the annoyance of the Hellsing organization. However, when Iscariot found the spear of destiny, that kind of set off a chain reaction, because what happened was, it wasn't even though the Nazis had possession of it before it vanished sometime during World War II, someone took it from the Nazis and hid it. That someone was Lucifer himself. You see, Lucifer basically discovered what the Nazis were doing, and he's like, guys, you guys are like super evil, and that that thing is kind of needed for for a big future plan I got with God. Him and I are supposed to do this whole war, and you're kind of ruining it. Your whole war against humanity, yeah, you're kind of knocking on the door for jump-starting the apocalypse early, so I'm gonna need that spear back. But the thing is that this was a joint operation, and the joint operation was not just Lucifer who went to go get the spear, but also Adam went with him. So Adam and Lucifer had a secret alliance that they took they killed all the Nazis that had excavated the Spear of Destiny, and they were supposed to be like, well, Lucifer is like, well, I'll just take this back for safekeeping, and Adam was like, the fuck you're not, that shit belongs to us, it kind of pierced our boss, and he's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna, he'll get pierced by it again. So what happened was, the two were forced by God to hide it somewhere on Earth, so neither side could use it at the moment. But yeah, so they left it in the middle. They basically put it deep somewhere in the catacomb, in a ancient old Sumerian temple that was buried for a couple millennia, but now it's been found by Iscariot. Well, Lucifer has detected that someone has found someone found it, and is now like, oh shit. And it's not just them. The other deep within Iscariot, there were Hellsing organization agents. Yeah. Because Integra never trusted the church, as one should. And Integra did have spies within Iscariot, and they've reported back to her saying, hey, Iscariot and the Catholic Church have found and recovered the Spear of Destiny. What do you want to do? Because they, Integra already knows. They have the Spear of Destiny. They now have a weapon who they'll probably give to their best assassin, Anderson, to use to kill Alucard. And on one hand, Alucard's like, he overhears this. He's like, the Spear of Destiny. Something that could actually kill me. This is exciting. And Alucard, while he is thrilled at the idea of Anderson using the Spear of Destiny on him, Integra is like, no, I am not going to lose this organization's greatest asset just so you could have, get your rocks off in a fight. That is not happening. We're not doing that. All right. There's things we can do. That ain't one of them. So what happens is that Alucard is dispatched to the Vatican. Meanwhile, down in hell, basically Lucifer is like, oh shit. Hey Charlie, so listen, honey, sweetheart, Daddy did a thing a couple years ago, and I need your help. So Lucifer was after the whole thing with Adam. He tells it the whole thing with the secret team up he had with Adam, the Spear of Destiny, and the other thing was God forbid him from getting to it again. So, but he points out he didn't say anything about you. You didn't say anything about my daughter going to go get the Spear of Destiny. And they're like, I don't know, Dad. Isn't that supposed to? That's a thing. That's like a weapon that's meant to start the war between heaven and hell. And he's like, yeah. And I kind of need that for when that does happen, So can you be a dear and just bring that down here so heaven can't use? I imagine heaven will also try to get it because we did kill Adam, and they might try to use that on me now. So it's important that we have it on our side. So Lucifer sends Charlie, Vaggie, Alistair, and Angel Dust up to Earth. And straight to the Vatican in order to recover the Spear of Destiny. Now we have all the players on the board. Everyone has gone to the Vatican City to recover it. Ceres, Walter, the Wild Geese, and Alucard are in the Vatican, and they're on one hand they're like, do we lay siege to the Vatican? Do we take it? The place by force? Or do we, try to sneak in there? And then they hear explosion and screams, and they're like, and they're like, well, I guess we're doing the direct approach. Sure enough, Charlie, who was trying to do the same thing, Alistair was like, I have a better idea, and Alistair proceeded to Alistair all over the church, the Vatican. So they basically, the demons are now forced to fight their way through. And that's when they encounter the Hellsing organization among the Knights of Iscariot, and now it's just a giant. It's like a moment with it in Rocky Horror Picture Show where it's like Iscariot, Hellsing, Alistair, Doctor. It's almost like that. It's like a Janet, Rocky, Dr. Scott. It's like that. It's like a moment like that, and then it becomes a giant fucking free for all. It just becomes this giant mash of. It's just this giant mass of gore and blood everywhere. And the two biggest ones that are getting into a fight are Alistair and Alucard. And he's like, I've heard of you, my good fellow. You may be Alucard, but I do believe I'm addressing a Count Dracula. And Alucard's like, one and only. And to who am I speaking to? He goes, Alistair, I'm here to end your fucking life. So they fight. Alistair and Alucard's fight completely just like Alucard has to use all of his power just to keep up with Alistair. Because vampires are one thing, demons are another level, but Alucard is the king of vampires, so he is like taking it to Alistair, and they're just completely smashing the Vatican. All of the Vatican is getting just torn apart, and everyone who gets in the way is, well, considered collateral damage. It isn't until Charlie manages to sneak through the absolute chaos that is going on gets the Spear of Destiny, and is like, just holds it up for everyone. He's like, here's the thing you were looking for. This stupid fucking spear. You know what I think of it? And just breaks it over her knee. And just destroys it. Just absolutely wrecks it. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, so Charlie literally, in the middle of all of this chaos, just takes the fucking spear and just breaks it. Using all of her demon power, she just snaps the fucking thing in half. And of course, that just basically ruined everything for all sides. Alucard especially is angry because he was like, that was supposed to give me a proper death. That was supposed to be my perfect death right there. In the middle of all, Anderson's all like, oh, you'll get your proper death one day, monster, just not today. And Charles just, everyone shut the fuck up. You know, I'm trying to get people into heaven, and I can't have my own father start a fucking war before I do that. So nobody gets it. So yeah, by the end of it, everyone is just like, oh, fuck, I guess we're all like going home. So all parties leave, by the end of it, but Lucifer, like when Charlie tells her father that, hey, I had to break the damn thing, he's like, thanks. You know, it's something I should have done honestly, I should have done from the start, rather than have this be a millennia-old problem in the future. So you're stronger-willed than I am, kid. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much Hellsing versus Hazbin Hotel. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. And once again, I'd like to thank my patrons for the poll, for voting on the poll, I should say. And other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.